At the end of the day, football's all about having fun. If you're not enjoying it, what's the point? So today we've decided to pick out each Premier League club's funnest player to watch. Arsenal, Mesut Ozil. The midfielder has been heavily criticised in recent years, but there's no denying the natural ability that Ozil possesses. And when he's in form, he's an absolute joy to watch. Some of the passes he sees, I'm sure most people in the ground didn't even know the pass was on. You often see opponents watch on in bemusement, unable to know how to stop the former Germany international. The vision, the timing of the pass, the movement, the intelligence, it's a damn shame we haven't seen more of it from Ozil. However, he's back in the fold now that Mikel Arteta is in charge, which should help him recapture his form. Aston Villa, Jack Grealish. If you want to know what a talisman looks like, just cast your eyes at Jack Grealish. If Aston Villa are going to do something good on the pitch, you can bet your mortgage that Jack Grealish was involved in some way. He was a much maligned player in his younger days, but in the past couple of seasons he's matured into a footballer you can't help but admire. Grealish has improved so much over the last 12 months, proving he is the top class player that everyone thought he could be back when he was a teenager. He's backing up his potential now with goals and assists aplenty, meanwhile kicking the doubters to the curb. A well-deserved England call-up surely awaits. Bournemouth, David Brooks. If David Brooks had been fit this season, Bournemouth would surely be doing a lot better. The Wales international hasn't played a single minute of Premier League football, while Eddie Howe struggles to get a consistent tune out of his cherry side as the relegation battle appears to loom. But if you look back at last season, Brooks was just a joy. It was his first season in the top flight since joining from Sheffield United, and he was just fearless. He didn't even have a lot of first team experience, yet he walked into the Bournemouth side with a swagger and confidence about him, gliding past players, creating chances, and even scoring 7 times himself. The sooner he's back, the better. Brighton, Neal Maupay. There's just something about Neal Maupay I love. While he's not the top scorer in the Premier League by any stretch, he's a striker you just can't help but admire. Is it because he's a bit of an arsehole? I think it is. He doesn't give defenders a minute's peace, always sniffing around to see if there's a chance on offer. And he can finish too, which is why Brighton spent so much money on him. The Seagulls don't have a lot of consistently fun players, but Maupay is certainly someone I enjoy watching. Burnley, Dwight McNeil. Poor Burnley, they aren't the most exciting team in the world, but it's not that they pretend to be either. If you watch a Burnley game, you know what you're going to get. They'll be well drilled and not try to play the ball early up to the striker. There's no right way to play football, and Sean Dyche's brand has certainly been successful in years gone by. But one exciting player they do have is Dwight McNeil. The young winger is the player you want to see in possession when you watch the Clarets. He can go past a man and he can deliver a wicked cross, all the while boasting the typical Dyche credentials to make him a guaranteed starter at Turf Moor. Chelsea, N'Golo Kante. So far we've looked only at flair players, but they're not the only ones that are fun to watch. Yes, for Chelsea I've picked the marathon man N'Golo Kante, because unless your team is against the Blues, you've got to love watching the French midfielder sprint around the pitch, tackling anything he can and then repeating the same trick for the entire 90 minutes. The man's just a machine, and he's a likeable character too. You read stories about Kante and you can't help but smile. He's a humble lad who out of nowhere is recognised as one of the best holding midfielders in world football. Crystal Palace, Wilfried Zaha. No surprise here, Wilfried Zaha in full flight is special. The ball's just glued to his foot, he gets out of holes that look impossible. He's fast, powerful and creative. He often irks opposition fans because of his willingness to go to the ground, but he certainly does get kicked to bits, so you'll understand why he gets so irate. But at his best, Wilfried Zaha is a special talent who we need to see playing at a higher level if we would ever truly appreciate how good the Ivory Coast international is. Everton, Richarlison. A fiery Brazilian who often aggravates fans not of an Everton persuasion, you can't deny Richarlison's hunger, desire and ability. Despite being young, he's been written off time and time again, even dating back to his Watford days. But he constantly bounces back, reminding everyone why he costs so much money and proving why he'll cost a lot more in the future. Richarlison is a player that can make things happen on his own, thriving in a variety of different roles and never hiding. Things are on the up now at Everton, and Richarlison will have a big say on where they go. Leicester City, Jamie Vardy. It just had to be the Leicester number 9. While they've got flair players like James Maddison and Jose Perez, sometimes you just can't beat a relentless running striker and perseverance from a man who continues to defy logic year after year. Jamie Vardy's infectious, and he's a player that gets fans excited, and that's why he's so fun to watch. He doesn't give defenders a second on the ball, always sniffing around and creating chances for himself. And 9 out of 10 times, he takes that chance. Vardy's in his 30s but doesn't look any slower, still recognised as one of the Premier League's top strikers. Not bad for a guy who was playing non-league football not too long ago. Liverpool's Sadio Mane. You could pick a plethora of Liverpool's current crop, but we're going to go with Sadio Mane. It's the way he goes past players that grips you. He can almost ground to a halt, then in a blink of an eye turn on the afterburners and go past an opponent as if he wasn't there. It's like he's playing in a school playground at times, popping off little flicks and tricks, not afraid to do the audacious. And more often than not, it comes off. That's why he's one of the best players in the Premier League and a key component of Liverpool's dominance. Manchester City, Kevin De Bruyne. Again, City are a team that you could pick a variety of players here, but for me, Kevin De Bruyne was an easy choice. In my opinion, he's the best player in the division and has been for a long time. There's not a lot the Belgian can't do, and particularly this season, the creativity he's provided for Man City has been next level genius. The weight of passes, the precision, the angles he's whipping balls in from, yet they always land perfectly in place for a teammate. He's just an absolute class act, and one of those footballers you pay to see. I know I certainly would. Manchester United, Paul Pogba. For all his flaws, I do love watching Paul Pogba play football. When he can dictate a game, he's exciting. He forces the issue, he makes things tick for his team. Be it his neat link-up play, his long-range passing, power and possession or his eye for a goal, Pogba has all the makings of a world-class player, which is why it's so sad that he's barely played at all this season, and all the while he continues to be criticised by various different outlets. No, he's not perfect, but when it comes down to it, Paul Pogba is a fun player to watch in comparison to the rest of his Manchester United teammates. Newcastle United, saint-maximin. It couldn't be anyone else, could it? If you're on a football pitch against saint-maximin, you can guarantee the Frenchman will try and run past you. He's the kind of maverick players that Newcastle fans love, just like David Ginola and Hatton Ben Arthur. Saint-Maximin is becoming a talisman for the Magpies, with his one-man show giving Steve Bruce's side hope at times when there seems to be none. He gets you on the edge of your seat, you get excited when the ball arrives at his feet, eagerly wait to see what he's going to do this time. That's the kind of football you pay your hard-earned money to watch. Norwich City, Todd Cantwell. Not many people knew about Todd Cantwell at the start of the season, but he's been something of a revelation in yellow and green. Cantwell wasn't even that big a player in the Championship for Norwich, but he stepped up to the Premier League with ridiculous ease. He's keen, he runs, getting himself into positions to impact the game, and that's exactly what he's done. Despite a lack of points, Norwich have been a good watch this season, and Cantwell is a big reason why. Sheffield United, Jack O'Connell. He's a centre-back who makes overlapping runs. What else is there I can say? Southampton, Sofiane Boufal. An informed Sofiane Boufal is some sight. The Saints winger has incredible balance and tricks for days, able to go past players in a flash in ways you didn't think were possible. The only issue is consistency. If Boufal could do what he does on a more regular basis, he'd be one of the best players around. But when he does get it right, you have to sit back and admire what he can do with a football at his feet. Tottenham Hotspur, Son Heung-min. Any player who can carry the ball from the edge of his own box and score has to be a fun watch. And that's exactly what Son did earlier in the season. The South Korean sensation is electric for Tottenham, and at times has proven to be even more crucial than Harry Kane. He's quick and he can use both feet, capable of scoring a goal from anywhere. Jose Mourinho's sides can be a hard watch these days, but Son is a joy to behold, playing with a smile on his face every week. Unless he kicks off and gets himself sent off, of course. Watford, Gerard Deulofeu. A no-brainer here, there isn't anyone at Watford as fun to watch as Gerard Deulofeu. The Watford forward can be frustrating if things aren't going his way, and he obviously has consistency issues just like other players in this video, but he can be a talisman for the Hornets when he's enjoying a purple patch of form. I mean, just look what he did last season in the FA Cup semi-final against Wolves, he was majestic. West Ham United, Felipe Anderson. A player who is currently having a season to forget, we just can't ignore what Felipe Anderson did in his debut campaign at West Ham. I have to admire Felipe Anderson, because no matter what's going on around him, he'll play the game at his own pace. He can orchestrate proceedings from out wide, dictating the tempo and calling the shots. Sadly, things haven't been great for Anderson or West Ham this season, but the Brazilian has all the ability in the world, and if the Hammers are to improve this season, Anderson will likely play a big part. Wolves, Adama Traore. If this was 2 years ago, I'd have said Adama Traore was the most frustrating player to watch, but what a transformation he's had. He was always quick and powerful, going past players with ease, but he was often like a bull in a china shop, running out of pitch before he'd get his head up and pick a pass. That's all changed this season though, as Traore has added goals and assists to his game, making Wolves an even more dangerous team. Adama is just so fun to watch, and you just know as soon as he can get the ball he's going to make something happen in an instant. But he's an absolute liar if he reckons he doesn't lift weights. So that's every Premier League club's funnest player to watch. Let us know what you think in the comments below. You can follow me on Twitter, I'm at HITC James, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Cheers lads, catch you next time.